What's up, folks? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, I'm gonna be straight up. This is gonna be a short one, but it's one that I wanted to share. It was digging into me, and later this week we're gonna have a little bit more detailed talk about it. And what I'm referring to is one of my clients who I've been working with has done extremely well. And one of the goals with this client was to get off of metformin. And I'm going to share with you briefly what she just shared with me as far as her story. And it's fascinating because at the end of the day, you must be informed and take full control of your health. This is very important. And you must fight for what is right when you get with your doctor. You must be your own advocate. You are the number one advocate. And when I'm coaching you or any of our coaches are working with you, get them on board 100%. And if they need my support or help, I will come and help them when it's time to get you maximizing your experience, your journey of living your best and healthiest life. Okay. So my client, Pat, who you'll meet later this week, is on a mission. And she's rocking. She's doing extremely well. And I'm very, very, very proud of you, Pat, 100%. And I'm proud of anyone that I'm working with and who does not give up on themselves. Because if you don't give up, when it comes to losing weight and improving what is possible to improve, I am going to stick with you the entire time. I've said this to many clients. They will give up way before I will give up. They will stop on themselves. I won't. As long as you want to be in the game, then I'm going to be in the game with you. Okay. So this is what happens. We're monitoring, Pat's fasting glucose. We're very knowledgeable of what insulin does and how it works in the body. So we're always looking at insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity, all of those things. The weight's coming down. She's not avoiding carbs. She's eating carbs. She's eating a variety of foods. She's traveling. She's doing all kinds of things, and the numbers are coming down. And she decided at one point in our conversation to stop taking the metformin. I'm not going to push back against it because I'm looking at her fasting glucose every week. We go over all these numbers and we make adjustments. And so finally, the time is to go in to see the doctor. And so when she goes in to meet with the doctor, she tells the doctor, I haven't been taking metformin. He goes, oh, that's not good. People have gained weight through this pandemic. Your blood sugar, I may have to give you insulin. You may have to start injecting insulin. And she says, no, I am not going to be injecting insulin, and I am not taking metformin. I wish I could be the fly on the wall when some of my clients go in who are informed and educated and can have a real conversation with the physician instead of the physician being positioned as the almighty. And I'm not against physicians. A lot of my friends are physicians. I mean, I get it. They have a role to play, but I wish I could be in the room sometime with some of my clients because as Pat's sharing it with me, and she'll share with you later, she says, no, I am not doing metformin. I told you that I've been off of metformin and my fasting glucose and everything is good. Well, they do the hemoglobin A1C. It looks great. At one point, she's in there. She said, here, want to prick my finger? Prick it right now. And the doctor, and he's really pushing for her to be on metformin because there's a lot of physicians out there that are telling their clients that once you get on metformin, you're staying on metformin. And that's not the case. I mean, as I record this in 2021, on this day, I personally have 11 people that I'm working with that are no longer taking metformin. That's one medication they're done with. And now we have an increasing amount of people who are not having to take their blood pressure medications because they're taking control of it, right? They're taking control of it. And next week, I'm going to actually share with you guys something that most physicians never, ever look at and they never, ever talk about really that pertains to high blood pressure. And when you know what I'm going to share with you about your high blood pressure, you're going to be able to reverse it much easier. And that's without eating, without avoiding carbs. That's my point. So anyway, so she's in there, and the doctor was so adamant that she's going to be taking metformin again that he made a call for her to pick up for a prescription to be filled for her to get metformin. And she's told him, no, I'm not taking metformin. She told him, I am not going to be injecting insulin. And he's just pushing it and pushing it. Well, by the time they were done with their conversation, this is the funniest part about it. Well, I don't know if it's funny, but I find it interesting. Is he then submitted, and he says, you know what? After he looked at everything, you don't need metformin. I'm gonna call. Don't worry about picking it up. I'm gonna cancel it. And again, she will share. I'm gonna let her share with you guys a story of how all this went down, because it just went down. And he then had a conversation with her because he looked at all her numbers. Weight is down, fasting glucose is down, everything is improving. And he says, I need to lose some weight. Can you put me in touch with this person? Oh, man, it is so interesting, because the more we share about the Diet for Your Life methodology, about what we do and how it works, the more the physicians are going to reach out, because they don't have a solution for it. And many of them are putting themselves on metformin, or getting one of their doctor friends who's their doctor getting them on metformin and other medications that aren't even necessary. I had a client the other day. He called me and said, well, actually, he sent me a text and said, my doctor said I'll never get off metformin. I go, you know how many times I've heard that? I mean, look at Ruth, and big shout out to Ruth, who I'll be talking to here shortly. Ruth was on metformin for 20 years. 20 years. And when we decided to get her into our program, which she was already very knowledgeable of, Ruth took the bull by the horns, and she says, all right, let's go after it. And she's no longer taking metformin. We got to get the word out, you guys, and get more people to know about what we're doing. This is life-changing. The opportunity is there for everybody. You know, as I was sharing with my buddy Dave, who I'm working with, I said, David, you know, a lot of these scientists and researchers that you see on YouTube and they're talking a big talk, they're great at communicating information that's above the pay grade of most people. They're great at drawing on a chalkboard or showing a PowerPoint, but they have no idea what really works in the kitchen of people's homes, different people's homes, different financial situations, different education situations. You must meet people where they are and show them how to work, show them how to make it work for where they are. And then as a client or a patient, as a human being, you must take control of your health. You go to that doctor and you do your checkups. I want you to go in there knowing what he knows and knowing a little bit more, because they won't know how to lose weight. May say quit eating carbs. That's why you have some doctors that are promoting intermittent fasting, because they don't know what else to promote. So if they're 55 years old and they're a doctor, why weren't if they're all that, why weren't they promoting intermittent fasting 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago? Then you have those who are like, oh, just stop eating bread, go keto or keto-like, or they just throw out a general term, low carb. They don't know. So people, we got to get us all to understand that just because you wear the lab coat does not mean that you're a physician. And as a physician, that does not mean that you know everything about losing weight. You just don't. That is not the deal. There are people like me in the weight loss world that know it really well. And then there's some people who know it less, and there's probably some that know it better. I'm always learning from different people. I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for solutions. I am challenging myself so I can be of better service to the people that I work with. And Pat is a great example of being informed. And then you're less likely to fall prey to those who are misinformed. And most physicians, not all, most are misinformed. And if you're uninformed, then you're going to fall prey to it. You want to go in and be informed so you can ask questions that are going to be helpful. And the more we spend time together, catch my videos, all of that, or if I'm working with you or one of our coaches is working with you, be informed so you can go in there and win. And winning means a collaboration between me, you, your physician, everybody working together, right? It's not just about one person or two people. It's about everything, and to include your family. You know, as my man Chris always says, it's a team. You know, it's the support of my wife. It's the support of my family. It's the support of having a nutrition coach, having like an endocrinologist, having like, you know, it's a team. You know, in the world of boxing, it's not just the guy that is doing the fighting in the ring. He's got a manager. He's got a promoter. He's got a trainer. He's got a nutritionist. He got a conditioning guy. He's got a wife. He's got a family. And everybody's got to be working together to help that person be successful. Now, some of you don't have a lot of support. And I get that too. I have clients that don't get any support from anyone in their family. It's almost like they don't want them to be healthy. But I'm in their corner. So they know they got somebody. Having a coach is powerful. Okay. Very powerful. So anyway, my man. Okay. So thank you, Dave, for sharing that with me about metformin. And you know what? I know there's a lot of physicians that aren't trying to get people on meds. I get that. But the meds are out there. And a lot of these people, though, are against the meds, but then they don't have something that is meeting people where they are. That is so difficult for people to do. So Dave, trust me on this, man. It's not easy to meet someone where they are, because I talk to people who are very educated, and I talk to people who they don't do well from a comprehension standpoint. Their intelligence is not very high, and that's okay. Meeting someone where they are means you're going to be patient as a coach, means that you're going to come up with strategies that's going to work specifically for them and maybe no one else. But that's meeting a person right where they are. And when you get aligned and everything is like in place, and you as the person who's going through that journey is willing to do what is necessary, the outcome is almost always the same: success. So be like Pat, people. Take control. You are your numero uno health advocate. But if you're not informed, then you're just in there listening to them report back numbers. And more numbers means what? And then you get that little sheet of paper, your prescription will be waiting on you. And then you're like, okay, I want to live, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. Let's keep it going. What's up, Susan Rogers? How's it going? My man Dave, giving you a big shout out. Life is good, you guys. Let's stay the course. Yeah. And be like Pat. All right. So when you go in there, be like Pat. And if you need help, if you're in contact with me, talk to me. And if I am coaching you, for instance, or I catch you on a phone call and you know you're going to go meet with your physician or your doctor, you're going to get a checkup, ask me how to make the most of that visit. I'll never forget Dr. Bernadette Anderson, who I have much respect for. 11 years ago, when we were doing a tour, 5 years ago, we were doing another tour, she would always encourage people. And she's a physician. She has her own practice, to be informed so that you can ask questions that will guide you to the outcome that you want. Dr. Sharon Allison Oddie, when I was doing tours with her and being part of a Beautiful Woman Inside and Out, she always encouraged that. So I'm saying that to say again, not all physicians, because many physicians are out there wanting you to maximize your situation. And they know the power of you being informed will make it possible for you to get more out of your visits when you go see your doctor. Okay, that's it. So I'm Rferguson. Thank you for listening. Be like Pat. Remember, I'm America's fat loss coach, nutritionist, author, scientist, and a guy who cares. And that's why I share information like this. And I can't wait for you to meet Pat and hear from her own words what took place when she stood up for herself, and then got her physician to say, hey, maybe I'll benefit by doing what you just did. And then he'll be thanking her. So there